With modern engineering, ships have become larger and stronger than ever before. From floating fortresses to ice-breaking behemoths, it's time to take a look at 15 of the most powerful ships on Earth. Number 15. SSCV Sleipnir. The semi-submersible crane vessel Sleipnir, which was named after the eight-legged horse ridden by Odin in Norse mythology, was christened in 2019 and immediately became the largest crane vessel in the world. At an estimated cost of $1 billion, Sleipnir is 720 feet long and 335 feet wide. It's powered by 12 8-megawatt dual-fuel engines, and with 8 azimuth thrusters, it's able to reach a cruising speed of 12 miles per hour. It's not built to move quickly through the water, as everything about it is designed to be stable and allow it to lift heavy objects. In essence, it's a huge platform with 4 columns on either side and pontoons that lead between them. These are used to keep the vessel stable in virtually any conditions it'll encounter at sea and provide the perfect foundation for the operation of the 2 revolving cranes. Each of these has a maximum lifting capacity of 11,000 tons and can be used in combination to lift a load of up to 22,000 tons, making it truly one of a kind. Currently, Sleipnir is being used to install the top modules of oil platforms around the world, and it's hoped it'll become invaluable in other future oceanic construction projects. Number 14. Project 22220 Icebreaker. One of the biggest challenges of sailing through the colder regions of the world is the presence of sea ice. Not only does it provide a potentially deadly physical barrier in the path of where a ship is trying to go, but it can also wrap around and crush a vessel that isn't adequately prepared. To overcome this, specialized ice-breaking ships are used, and the most powerful of them all is the Project 22220 Icebreaker. With the earliest designs dating back to the 1980s but only completed in 2009, it's the latest in a line of ships that have been built in Russia to help develop shipping routes through the Arctic. Currently, 2 of these nuclear-powered vessels have been completed, each of which is 569 feet long and with a maximum beam of 112 feet. They're powered by 2 nuclear reactors, which drive 3 shafts to give a maximum speed of 25 miles per hour in open water and an impressive 2.3 miles per hour through ice that's up to 9 feet thick. The record set by the Project 22220 Icebreaker ships looks to be short-lived, however. Russia's already developing the next design, known as the Project 10510 Lighter, which when completed in 2027 will be around 20% larger. Number 13. Gerald R. Ford-class aircraft carrier. The United States has for decades led the way in the development of powerful warships, and the largest and deadliest floating fortresses in the world are the Gerald R. Ford-class aircraft carriers. So far only 1 is active, but eventually there are 10 expected to be completed. Measuring 1,092 feet long, they have 25 decks and are powered by 2 nuclear reactors. Using 4 shafts for propulsion, they're able to reach a speed of 35 miles per hour through the water, and in theory have an unlimited range. It's estimated that each one of these costs around $13 billion, and as you'd expect for that price, it's the most advanced vessel to ever set sail. Using an electromagnetic aircraft launching system to ensure planes can be airborne as quickly as possible, each of these carriers can hold more than 75 jets at a time. They're fitted with the latest in scanner arrays and communication systems, and are protected by 4 surface-to-air missile launchers, 3 Phalanx guns, and 4 M2 50-caliber machine guns. Also designed to be upgraded based on future technologies, these will be central to U.S. naval power for decades to come, and are so powerful they've forced competing nations to take a new approach entirely. Number 12. Seawise Giant. The Seawise Giant, which is also known as the Yacht Viking, the Knock Nevis, and several other names, was the longest self-propelled vessel to have ever been built. It was constructed in the 1970s and ready to set sail by 1979 when it was based at the Opama shipyard in Japan. Measuring a whopping 1,504 feet long and 225 feet wide on deck, it was designed to be a crude oil transport vessel and was able to carry 4.1 million barrels at a time. From the start, there were problems with the design, though. It wasn't, for example, able to take some of the most popular routes in the world, such as through the English Channel, the Suez Canal, or the Panama Canal, so it was only economically effective for a limited number of destinations. It also became a target and was eventually sunk during the Iran-Iraq War in 1988 before being salvaged and refloated. Eventually, though, it was converted into a floating storage vessel and eventually dismantled in 2010. Still, even with modern designs, no other vessels have come close to its size and its transportation capacity, making it a legendary, one-of-a-kind ship. Number 11. Ohio-class submarine. Not all ships have to permanently sail on the water's surface, and of all the different types of submarines used by nations around the world, the most powerful are the Ohio class of the U.S. Navy. They may be the third largest, but size isn't everything when you're traveling beneath the waves, and what these subs lack in length is more than made up for with firepower. Measuring 560 feet long and up to 42 feet wide, they're powered by a nuclear reactor and can travel at speeds of up to 29 miles per hour while submerged. Capable of reaching depths in excess of 1,000 feet, they're operated by a crew of 155 sailors and have, in theory, an unlimited range, only needing to return to port to stock up on food supplies. Depending on each sub's configuration, they can cause a huge amount of damage. They can, for example, have 22 tubes, each of which has 7 Tomahawk missiles, meaning they have 154 in total, but can also be fitted with 24 Trident II missiles, which have nuclear warheads and have a range of up to 7,000 miles. Because of this capability, Ohio-class submarines form an integral part of the country's nuclear defense, and there are always a number of them secretly hiding within the depths around the world, ready to react if the needs arise. Number 10. MV Island Victory. The MV Island Victory was first launched in 2020 and was heralded as being the most powerful multi-purpose offshore vehicle to ever be built, while at the same time being far more environmentally friendly too. Measuring 403 feet long and 82 feet wide, it has a 250-ton offshore crane and accommodation on board for up to 110 people. The main purpose of it is to transport heavy components to where they need to be installed, and its sheer power means that it's able to do the work that previously would have needed 2 or more vessels to do. In tests, it was shown to be able to pull a weight of up to 526 tons, which is far more than any previous vessel was able to achieve. Now operating off the coast of Norway for a private company, the MV Island Victory is the first of a new class of super tugs. And while it is undoubtedly the most powerful, this is a record it'll only likely hold on to for a few years. Number 9. The Pyotr Veliki. The Russian Navy has a number of powerful ships in its fleet, but of all of them, the most daunting is the Pyotr Veliki, which is a Kirov-class battlecruiser. Measuring 827 feet long and reaching up to 94 feet across, it's powered by nuclear propulsion that gives it a top speed of 36 miles per hour. The program for the Kirov class began under the Soviet Union in the 1980s, but the Pyotr Veliki was only completed in 1998, which meant it was able to make use of the latest technology at that time. With a crew complement of 727 members, it can carry 3 helicopters on its below-deck hangar and has a frightening amount of weaponry on board. This includes 20 P-700 Granite anti-ship missiles, 160 surface-to-air missiles, 4 rocket launchers, 10 torpedo tubes, and many more machine gun systems. Described as being the largest line of battle warships in the world and named after Peter the Great, the Pyotr Veliki is currently the flagship of Russia's Northern Fleet that predominantly conducts missions throughout the Arctic. Number 8. The Pioneering Spirit. The construction of large offshore platforms, normally involved in drilling for oil, requires hugely powerful crane ships to lift the large components into place. While it's not quite the most powerful, one of the most effective in the world is known as the Pioneering Spirit, which was first launched in 2013. Owned by the Swiss company Allseas Group, it was specifically designed for the single-lift installation and removal of oil platforms and the largest pipelines currently in use. And the sheer power and technology needed to do this meant that it's believed to have cost well in excess of $3 billion to build. It measures 1,253 feet long and up to 407 feet across. It's powered by 8 manned diesel generators, and with its 12 Rolls-Royce azimuth thrusters, it's able to travel at a top speed of 16 miles per hour. On board, there's accommodation for up to 571 people, and the cranes give it a current lifting capacity of 48,000 tons, which is expected to be upgraded in the coming years to 60,000 tons. Currently holding the record for being the world's largest vessel by gross tonnage with a figure of 403,000 tons, it'll take a monstrous vessel to outclass the Pioneering Spirit. Number 7. Wonder of the Seas. The days of passenger transport ships between ports around the world may be a thing of the past, but that doesn't mean companies aren't constructing even larger vessels that can carry more and more people. Instead of taking them from one place to another, though, they're instead used for pleasure cruises to take them on tours around must-see destinations. And currently, by far, the largest cruise ship of all is the Wonder of the Seas. It's owned and operated by Royal Caribbean International, and it's almost unbelievably huge. It measures 1,188 feet long and up to 210 feet wide, and it's made up of 18 decks. Requiring a crew of as many as 2,300 members, the Wonder of the Seas can accommodate almost 7,000 guests at a time, making it a virtual floating city. To support all these people, there are 20 restaurants, 4 swimming pools, a children's water park, full-size basketball court, an ice skating rink, a surf simulator, and even 2 rock climbing walls. Entertainment is provided through a 1,400-seat theater and an outdoor aquatic theater, and its overall size means that it's even bigger than the largest military vessel ever built, the Nimitz-class aircraft carrier. Powered by 6 marine diesel sets, which are each comprised of 3 16-cylinder common rail engines and 3 12-cylinder engines, the Wonder of the Seas is impressively able to cruise at speeds of up to 25 miles per hour, although with all the activities on board, you'd hardly be in a rush to get anywhere. Number 6. MSC Oscar. When it was christened in January of 2015, the MSC Oscar, which was built by the Daewoo Shipbuilding and Engineering Company for the Mediterranean Shipping Company, instantly became the largest container ship in the world. Completed at a cost of around $140 million, it's mainly intended to take containers between ports around the Med, and at full capacity is able to carry up to 19,224 standard-sized containers, a figure that includes the capacity for 1,800 refrigerated containers. To do this, the vessel is enormous. It measures 1,297 feet long and 194 feet wide, requiring a crew of up to 35 members to operate. It's powered by a 2-stroke manned diesel engine, which itself is 51 feet high, 82 feet long, and 36 feet wide. In normal operation, this monstrous motor is able to produce 75,000 horsepower and enables the MSC Oscar to travel at speeds of up to 26 miles per hour. Number 5. The Nanchang. The 2 main navies you would think of around the world are the American and the Russian ones, but with an increasing desire to control waterways, China has invested heavily into their own in recent years. This has involved building vessels similar to designs used by other countries, but also the development of completely new concepts too, and the most powerful of all is the Type 055 destroyer. The flagship of this class is known as the Nanchang, and only launched relatively recently in 2020. The ship is 591 feet long and up to 66 feet wide, and is currently usually seen escorting an aircraft carrier group. Because it's so new, and as a result of the People's Liberation Army Navy's understandable secrecy surrounding the design, very little is known for certain about the Type 055, but it's undoubtedly an incredibly capable ship. It's powered by 4 gas turbines, which each produce 38,000 horsepower, and these enable it to steam through the water at a top speed of 35 miles per hour. Boasting a range of up to 5,700 miles, the Nanchang can carry 2 helicopters and is believed to be armed with 12 missiles in vertical launching systems, a short-range surface-to-air missile launcher, and 2 sets of torpedo bays, and a Type 730 close-in weapons system. You'd have to be part of a significant fleet to confidently stand up to one of these, and it just goes to show how seriously China is taking its naval development. Number 4. The Charles de Gaulle. At an estimated cost of around $4 billion, first launched in 2001, the Charles de Gaulle, named after the former French leader, became the first nuclear-powered surface vessel in the French Navy, and the only one in the world to be built outside of the United States. As you'd imagine, this makes it quite a foreboding ship, and it's become an integral part of the French Navy, measuring in at 858 feet long and up to 211 feet wide. It's also operated by 1,350 sailors, along with an air wing of 600 personnel. Furthermore, it's able to transport 800 commandos, along with more than 500 tons of ammunition, and has space in the hangars for up to 40 aircraft. Powered by 2 Arriva K-15 pressurized water reactors and 4 diesel-electric motors, it can travel at speeds of up to 31 miles per hour and has enough fuel on board for up to 25 years of operation. It's armed with 4 8-cell vertical launch systems, 2 6-cell Sarel launchers, and 8 Guyot 20mm cannons, and a suite of electronic warfare capabilities and deterrence, as well as the latest design of sensors and processing systems. Outside of the United States, there are very few vessels as potentially devastating as this one, and it's ensured the French Navy remains one to be treated with respect. Number 3. The Ever Ace. While the MSC Oscar was for a while the largest container ship in the world, this record has recently been broken with the launch of the Ever Ace. It's one of 14 enormous vessels that are being built for Evergreen Marine by shipyards in South Korea and China, with 4 of them already in service as of late 2021. The container ships are an astonishing 1,312 feet long and up to 202 feet wide, and have a gross tonnage of 235,000 tons. Powered by a WinGD 11-cylinder engine that can produce up to 78,000 horsepower, the vessel is so new that it's not yet clear what its average cruising speed will be. What has been proven, though, is its capacity, and in August of 2021, the Ever Ace successfully carried 21,710 20-foot equivalent containers from Yantian, China to Europe. This represents a significant improvement in capacity, and it's hoped that in the long run, the introduction of these ships will reduce the overall number of vessels needed to serve routes like these, which will, as a result, lower the overall volume of emissions that are released in the process. Number 2. USS Zumwalt. The most powerful vessels don't necessarily have to be the largest, and the U.S. Navy is currently exploring smaller, more agile ships that are capable of taking part in wars in different ways. The USS Zumwalt, which is the first of the new Zumwalt class that was named after the esteemed admiral, is a great example of this and has added a new level of capability to the Pacific Fleet. Measuring 600 feet long and 80 feet across, it's classed as a stealth-guided missile destroyer, and every element of its unusual design has been chosen to make it as difficult as possible to spot. At an estimated cost of around $4 billion, it's powered by 4 Rolls-Royce turbine generators, and these give it a top speed of 38 miles per hour. Operated by a 142-strong crew, it can carry as many as 5 helicopters and is equipped with 20 Mark 57 vertical launch system modules, a RIM-66 medium-range surface-to-air missile system, an evolved Sea Sparrow missile launcher, a Tomahawk launcher, anti-submarine missiles, and an advanced gun system developed by Northrop Grumman. On radar, the USS Zumwalt looks no larger than a small fishing vessel and can pack an almighty punch before the enemy realizes the reality. Rather than solely being designed for deep-water capabilities like destroyers, it's purposefully multi-mission, meaning it can also be used to support ground forces and land attacks. Whether more will be built or how much the Navy will ultimately rely upon them is still to be seen, but the Zumwalt class is what you get when you apply all of the latest stealth and weapons technologies into a nimble ship. Number 1. Spirit of Australia. The most powerful ships are often the ones seen to carry the most firepower or able to lift the largest loads, but there's also another true test of power: sheer speed through the water. Amazingly, the current world water speed record was set in October of 1978, and in a testament to the design of the craft and bravery of the pilot, since then, no one's been able to get close. Built by Australian Ken Warby in the backyard of his Sydney home, the Spirit of Australia was designed to be as streamlined as possible as it passed over the water's surface, but the secret to its success was the engine that was used, which was one that had been developed by the Westinghouse Electric Company in the 1940s for jet fighters and other aircraft. The J-34 jet engine was attached to the back of the boat, and just hearing it warming up would have been enough to convince most people to avoid getting anywhere near the controls. Warby wasn't like the rest of us though, and on a perfect day he managed to clock a speed of 345 miles per hour, which is simply insane. Even though the record has remained for decades, he and his son are now looking to push the limit even further. The Spirit of Australia 2, which has been fitted with a jet engine from an Italian fighter plane, is already undergoing tests, and they hope to be able to attempt a new record very soon.
Watch our Vehicles playlist for more top 15 videos about amazing vehicles. Sit back, relax, and binge watch all of our best vehicle videos.